And a very warm welcome to the weekend edition of Wellbeing Wisdom. I'm always delighted when you can join me. I've got a question for you. How would you feel if you could live forever? I know it's a crazy idea because there is an obsession in our world with extending the lifespan of the population, even though we live in a world where huge numbers of people are actually struggling even to have enough to eat. It seems like that's a profound imbalance in the way we're running the world and its resources. But the fact is that there is an enormous amount of investment into the mechanics of aging so that we will be able to manipulate the process and live longer. Now, on the one hand, the idea of living longer is quite an attractive proposition if it's supported by a very, very healthy lifestyle. I don't think many of us would wish to get into old age, if we're fortunate enough to live that long, and end up looking like ET with tubes and all sorts of strange mechanical devices keeping us alive. It is therefore very much about the quality of life rather than just simply extending the lifespan. But there's a lot of fascinating research being conducted which is specifically designed to make money. Oh, no, what I mean is to help us to live longer. And if this is something that interests you, my part, I'm a little bit cynical about this because I see that we waste so much of our lives doing things which are quite pointless. We are obsessed with trivial distractions, so we're not exactly making the very best use of the time that we've got. So if we extend it indefinitely to live for centuries, I'm not fully convinced that we would take the fullest advantage of that particular opportunity. But the fact is, if you do want to live longer, there are a couple of things which might help you to enjoy the process. One, medical science is helping us to live longer. That means that our generation may well be the first in the developed world to seriously live for perhaps 125 or more years. Some of you are smiling, some are recoiling in horror. Part of my mission is to make sure that no matter how long we've got, that we make the most of it. And that involves a couple of simple principles. If you respect your body's needs to eat healthily, and it means favouring a natural diet rather than going for highly processed food, that's going to help. We also need to maintain good mental acuity. We need to give the brain, give the mind regular exercise, push-ups to keep it fit and active. Because at any stage in our lives, mental challenges help us to develop stronger neural connections within the brain. Keeping the body flexible, keeping it strong, giving it intelligent exercise is a great step in the right direction. Healthy diet and giving your brain something purposeful to do. The other thing, of course, is to learn how to take better control over your thoughts and feelings. So all that mental and emotional energy can be harnessed, can be channeled towards your benefit to help you feel better. And these are very, very important factors because when you're feeling better, when you're perhaps free from pain, let's put it in those simple terms, you're more likely to engage in social activities. And that's another factor that helps us to live longer. Being involved, being engaged with other people. And of course, the big one, which is perhaps another dominant factor we tend to ignore, is having a purpose. Having a reason to get up in the morning and to be active, to be busy, to have purpose throughout life is very motivating for humans, but it's something we tend to forget as we get older, especially if you can find things that in your world can make a difference, improving the quality of life for yourself and for those around you. But if you put those factors together, healthy eating, sensible exercise, keeping your brain active, developing purpose, learning how to use more positive mental and emotional imagery, that's going to make a massive contribution to the quality of life. The key question here is, will it help you to live longer? Well, it's possible that your body will function more efficiently for longer, so maybe that can be equated to longer life. But I think the most important part of this is that it will help you to live a life which is fulfilling, certainly more enjoyable, a much more pleasant experience where you can learn how to marshal all of your resources towards the most positive outcomes. I'd love to know what you think. Now, this is a subject that's popped up on a regular basis. A dear friend of me said, Greg, what is this obsession with people wanting to stay young forever? I know it's kind of crazy. We live in a world where we're not even comfortable with the concept of getting older, and learning to understand how we function as human beings can help us to allay some of those fears, living perhaps more naturally in tune with our real potential. It isn't about staying young forever. It's perhaps being healthy for longer. And it's also about avoiding the tendency to see your age accelerating, getting older before your time due to stress and lifestyle pressures. Again, I'd love to know what you think. It's always a joy to hear from you. And on that very, very positive note, allow me to wish you a wonderful weekend. And I look forward to being back with you again very soon. Bye for now.